Professor, what exactly is rock and roll?
Yes, an excellent question. Rock and roll is an alternative to rock and roll. Rock and roll means you are master of all you survey, while less rocking.
What if you stop rocking? Are you still master of all you survey?
No, not at all. The rocking is necessary to maintain rulership.
Is the rocking you reference the general rocking that one does in life, or the specific rocking a rocker does whilst rocking on stage?
Rocking is a very broad term, not only referencing the onstage form, but also encompassing unorthodox forms of rocking.
Okay, so, for instance, when Dave Grohl went backstage during that sweet drum solo at the Foo Fighters show, he was still master of all he surveyed, because he possesses life qualities that enable him to rock regardless of his position relative to a rock stage.
The official guidelines to rocking and ruling can be found in the 4th edition of the Rulership Law book, which was published by Ace Frehley in 1974. In that case, Dave was under the jurisdiction of Taylor Hawkins, who was doing the most rocking at that particular time. Thereby Taylor was the ruler of the arena due to the vast difference in the rocking levels being displayed.
This brings up an interesting question. In a group of rockers, all of whom are on stage, presently, rocking, how can each of them be master of all they survey whilst they each survey each other? Must a calculation of relative rocking be done to determine the lone ruler?
Correct. In such a scenario, the Council of Ruling, which is based in Nantucket, must make a ruling on who exactly is doing the most rocking, and therefore ruling. Once a decision has been reached, the ruler shall maintain his rulership until such time as a new rocker goes before the council and applies for rulership. At that time, the council very closely monitors rocking levels for a period of 4 days, until they can accurately assess and rule on who is the new ruler.
Then of course, the next question arises, when there is a conflict among rockers presently rocking on the same stage as to which course of action among alternatives to take during a rock show, how can a prospective ruler maintain the validity of his rule? Must he seek recourse directly to Nantucket? Is there a real-time avenue for the making of such an appeal, or must the show be put on hold, or must rock chaos ensue?
Ruler validity is maintained until the challenging/potentially new ruler has applied for rulership. Rulership applications must be received via certified mail. However, rulership has not been transferred, and it remains valid until the council has made a ruling.
Thanks to your tutelage, I now feel well versed in the intricacies of ruling and rulers.
There are exceptions, however, in the case of the Foo Fighters, as you mentioned previously.
Continue.
Dave Grohl does have rulership, and is the ruler at any Foo Fighters performance. However, the council has made exceptions in the case of drum solos. In Taylor Hawkins' drum solo, his level of rocking so greatly exceeded Dave Grohl's that the council had no choice but to transfer temporary rulership duties and privileges to Taylor. Temporary transfers such as these are very rare, and an exception to the rule.
So, the council monitors all rocking in real time, or is the transfer presumed in all situations, where a reasonable person would acknowledge that the ruler's rocking had been greatly exceeded by a subordinate rocker?
And no, applications must be filed even for temporary transfers. Taylor submits his application before every tour to ensure the transfer during the drum solos in advance.
What does the application generally include?
The application is 4 pages long and includes general information such as name, age, place of rocking, assumed degree of rocking, and rulership. Being applied for applications must also be accompanied by a video submission of the applicant rocking.
I see, but since the decision could only be made based on the relative rocking of at least 2 potential rulers, mustn't the application also include a visual and oral record of the other potential rulers rocking to the same degree they intend to rock during the applicant's proposed moment of rocking superiority?
Is cell in question generally the ruler already in place has previously filed an application for their own rulership. In this case, the council can compare the new application with the old. However, the current ruler is given the option to submit a new application to be used against the challenging rocker should they desire.
I see. So a key component of any application for an advance ruling on rulership transfer would be adequate notice to the present ruler.
Absolutely. As I said before, the decision process lasts 4 days. The present ruler has until the end of the 4 days to submit a new application. When the new application is received, the 4-day period begins anew, and the new application is used from that point forward.
This process seems not unlike modern corporate litigation, wherein an oft-used tactic is to bury the opposing party in excessive filings. Are there any examples of such behavior in rule disputes before the council at Nantucket?
Indeed, there was the great challenge of Lennon v. McCartney in 1964 to 1980, in which McCartney applied for rulership so many times it eventually led to Lennon's death. Lennon was forced to reapply, with examples of his rocking so many times that he literally died of exhaustion. The council, of course, could not allow this tragedy to become public, thus they accused Mark David Chapman of murdering Lennon, thus freeing the council from any controversy, and awarding McCartney rulership by default.
Ah yes, I remember this from the excellent PBS documentary miniseries, Lennon v. McCartney, How Power and Paper Hold the Rocking Rulers.
That's right. The truth about the council, and rocking and ruling, is there if you look for it.
Thank you, Professor.